Hey team, I want to share a study that has had a huge impact on my programming for about 6 months. It's the 2018 LIFTMOR trial, where for the first time they took postmenopausal women with osteoporosis and osteopenia and put them through a joint protocol of lifting heavy and impact training and measure their bone mineral density. My goal today is to present the results and the impact of the study, subsequent studies, and to provide a little bit of context around the 2018 area and the paradigm that health professionals viewed osteoporotic and osteopenic women. I want to also compare the effects of the protocol of lifting heavy as well as the protocol of impact training or jumping heavy. This follows with the implication of the study on our methodology and how we can incorporate results into MED programming. Impact training, or in this case, jump training, which includes the exercise jumping chin-ups, where the participant has a bar slightly above their head. They grab the bar, they jump up and pull down as hard as they can, and at the apex of their jump, they let go, fall into the ground landing as heavily as comfortable, and the progression is towards a straight-legged landing, trying to create sufficient ground reaction forces to vibrate or send a shock wave up the skeletal system that the bones have to adapt to and begin that bone building cascade. Impact training can be performed daily if properly progressed, and until 2018 had been proven to be superior to resistance training alone for increasing bone mineral density. Around 2018, the paradigm shared by healthcare professionals was that osteoporotic and osteopenic postmenopausal women were incapable of impact training or lifting loads heavier than 80% of their 1-rep max. They favored medication as their primary intervention or moderate intensity resistance training, so lower weight but higher reps. There was a trend in the literature, however, that showed a high correlation between lifting heavy and significant improvements in bone mineral density. So the more intense the lifting is, the more improvements the bone mineral density shows. But they were unclear of a specific exercise program, again being fearful of injury and lack of data for this population. They continue to recommend exercises focusing on balance, stretching, flexibility, cardio, and a bunch of body weight exercises. The study lasted 8 months with both groups training twice weekly for 30 minutes. 100 women were separated into two groups of 50. Participants had to be at least 58 years old, postmenopausal, with osteoporosis or osteopenia. The control group followed the current recommendations or recommendations of that time, which was a home-based, low-intensity routine with walking, body weight squats, some arm work with some dumbbells, stretching, and balance. The intervention group, they did what we do, the Lord's work. Heavy sets of 5, greater than 80% of the 1-rep max, squat, press, deadlift, in combination with the impact training, so jumping chin-ups, landing as heavily as comfortable, with 5 sets of 5 on all exercises. The results showed that the high-intensity group made significant improvements on the bone mineral density and strength. They exceeded functional baseline tests. They even grew 2 centimeters. The program was tolerated well, with only one injury being a back spasm, which took about a week to recover. There were, however, 5 falls in the gym, which actually goes back to the adage, people don't hurt themselves lifting heavy weights, people hurt themselves tripping over heavy weights. Pain and stiffness reports were low in both groups. The low-intensity group showed no improvement on baseline tests or strength and actually lost bone mineral density. Subsequent studies substantiated these results and found that lifting heavy was about as effective as impact training. However, there was a high correlation between intensity and bone mineral density to where, although each protocol alone improves bone mineral density, strength training improves bone mineral density to a more significant degree based on its axial loading component, and the higher the intensity goes. The most efficacious protocol, however, is the combined protocol of lifting heavy and impact training. And that's one of the great things taken from this study and other studies like it. So the hypothetical at-risk client study suggests would improve bone mineral density more quickly on a joint protocol. The study is important to me because it gives me a model on how to help postmenopausal women who are at risk for osteoporosis and osteopenia, the main population that I train. I titrate all my at-risk clients with minimum effective dose methodology, progressing them to daily 5 sets of 5 jumping. They can jump up and down from the bottom of the stairs with a focus on landing as hard as comfortably. Seems to be well tolerated as long as I'm progressing slowly. The drawback is the extended SRA cycle. So it can take 4 to 6 months to observe measurable changes in bone mineral density. That doesn't allow me to discern what the minimum effective dose is until we get that DEXA scan, which could be a year or nitty fix. So my presentation is running a little long. I don't have time to address most of these, but these are ideas for questions that you all may have. I would love to talk about each one of these, so please bring your questions. Thank you so much for your kind attention. I'll leave this screen up for a little longer just to give you guys some ideas on questions.